So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Radio Works World. My name is Gill Barham. I am the Miracle Molecule host, and today I am having a light-hearted conversation with Mr. Alex Merry. Good afternoon, Mr. Merry. How are you?
I'm very well. Good afternoon.
You're there. I can see you're at home. You're in your flat. I recognise your flat from all your posts you do.
Yeah, this is where I do most of my posts, unless it's sunny outside, in which case I'll try and be outside for it.
Yeah, you'll hop outside. Okay, so now, really excited to have you on. We met at BAFTA, didn't we? Was that in December?
Yeah, BAFTA, just before Christmas.
Yeah,
awesome event.
I was launching my book and we were both speaking on stage and it was all fabulous. So before we start our light-hearted conversation though, what I'd like you to do, just in case there's somebody in the world that doesn't know who you are, I'd like you to tell us, please, who you are, what you do, what you're passionate about.
Sweet, I will do. So I'm a speaker coach and the founder of TEDx Clapham, which is a TEDx event based in the south of London. I basically help people write speeches that deliver value that will produce them a return on investment with their time. A lot of people ask me whether I go down the whole sort of delivery route. I'm very much content focused as opposed to delivery. I do a little bit of delivery stuff, but I actually think that what you're saying is where the focus should be. So that's kind of my angle on the whole speaking thing. All my friends think I'm a motivational speaker, and that's absolutely not what I do.
I don't think any of my friends really know what I do either, so we're in good company.
You know what? People ask you what you do, right? And I never really know what to say. I change it up every single time. I call myself a speaker coach because I think it's the easiest thing for people to relate to, but to be honest, absolutely no idea.
Cool. Okay, now we're going to get into our conversation, and just to tell everybody that I know that Alex has no idea what I'm going to ask him. Do you, Alex?
Not a clue, no.
No. Shooting from
Keeps
the
it
hips.
exciting.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Okay, so we had a little bit of a chat just before we came on the screen, and you're one of the very few people that I've asked who have watched Desert Island Discs. And you said, "Oh yeah, I love it."
Love it.
So many people don't know it, or perhaps only listened to it once or twice. So it's one of my favourite programs, and that's because you get to know the real person, whether it's a sportsman or a scientist or an actor or an author or, I don't know, any kind of philanthropist. You really get to know the person. And even though you've made an opinion about what that person is really like, actually sometimes you get some really nice surprises. And I find myself warming to people.
You know what? I love it. I think I've been trying to get Kirsty Young. So if you're watching, Kirsty, reply to my messages. I've been trying to get Kirsty to speak at TEDx because I think that the way she obviously does a hell of a lot of research on everybody that turns up to deliver the thing. But actually, I think that her ability to ask questions and the way she asks questions and the questions that she chooses, really contribute to the success of the show.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. So big up, Kirsty. I want to be Kirsty. Okay, so let's go with our conversation, shall we? So mine is based around the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to create a scenario for you.
Oh,
are you ready?
Here we go. Right.
Here we go.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to put you in a very nice hotel, and you're going to get into the lift on the bottom floor, on the ground floor. And you're headed for the top floor where your executive suite is. And one other person walks one under the lift with you. You're going up, and between the second or the sixth and the seventh floor, something like that, the lift stops. And you get a message to say, "Oh dear, you're going to be in there for a couple of hours at least. But don't worry, we've got a window, so you're not going to get claustrophobic because you can see out."
So I can't use panic attack as my excuse.
No, you can't use that as an excuse. Definitely not. So you're going to be in there for 2 or 3 hours. So my question to you is, who would the other person be that got into the lift with you? Who would that person be that you'd like to spend an uninterrupted 2, maybe 3 hours with, that you could grill and ask all the questions, dead or alive, that you've ever wanted to meet?
That's a good question. I always think about this, but more just Do you know who I'd have over for dinner? I like the fact you throw me into an elevator, and which means I can only choose one person. I think. Oh, it's interesting. I think it very much depended on what mood I was in. But maybe someone like, and I'm going off PC because I wouldn't normally say this person, Jamie Foxx. I'm feeling Jamie Foxx right now. He is fascinating, really versatile actor, musician. But anytime he goes on a chat show, you just never know what to expect with that guy. But it's all good, it's all funny, and I just think that he would be class entertainment for a couple of hours. He seems
yeah,
like
I think you're probably right. Wasn't he instrumental in Ed Sheeran's success? I was listening to something about Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, he was. He put Ed Sheeran up for like 6 weeks on his sofa or something like that. Yeah, really, really cool.
Because he's got a massive recording studio in his house, hasn't he?
That was it. It was at the time where he was trying to get into music a little bit more. Yeah. And he met Kanye West at one point, and Kanye was like, "Yeah, I'll like play some records with you or whatever." They go down to the recording studio, and Jamie does a demo, and Kanye's like, "Nah." But, there's something, that guy can tell a story, and I bet he's got a lot of interesting stories out there. And he's he's been in the game a really, really long time, but he seems to have the fountain of youth on his side. He doesn't look.
Oh. Alex, Alex's signal's not great. We were just having a conversation about how frustrated we are with our Wi-Fi, weren't we, Alex?
Sorry about that. It's absolutely the worst.
Yeah. Must be atmospheric pressure. Okay, now, what I didn't tell you was that you were on your way to lunch, and so was Jamie Foxx. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to magic you up in the lift, a very nice table with lovely cutlery and crockery and a white tablecloth. And I'm also going to magic you up, like Harry Potter does, a most amazing meal that you're going to share with Jamie Foxx. So what I'd like you to tell us is, what meal would you like to share with Jamie Foxx?
That's a good one. What kind of meal?
What do you like to eat and drink?
What I like to eat and drink? There'd have to be lots of protein, 100%. I think he'd like that too. I think we'd probably go for steak, a load of veg on the side. If it was winter, maybe some chips as well. I think chips would be involved, and then maybe like as a starter, we'd have a shot of something to kick the conversation off. Cool. He'd probably want tequila. I'd probably go Sambuca.
Okay. I think that covers the drink part of the Fabulous. All right, now, so thank you for sharing that with us. Jamie Foxx is an interesting one. Okay, so now I'd like to take you back to the 18-year-old Alex. So would you be willing to tell us what the 18-year-old you was doing? Where were you living? What were you doing? What was important to you? What was happening?
18 years old. I just finished my first year at University of Birmingham. I studied classics, but then I changed courses. But they made me finish the year before I could, and prove that I could like get through a year of uni before they accepted me onto my second course, which is sport and exercise science. I was a very different person. I hated public speaking. I hated limelight and all of that stuff. I don't particularly like limelight now. I don't do that much public speaking now, but I have got a lot of speaking hours in front of people under my belt in the last kind of 10, 11 years. So maybe a little bit more reserved, but definitely sociable and like to party.
Like to party. Okay, in that case, will you share with us what you were listening to at that point?
I think Hard-Fi.
Who?
I was Hard-Fi. They were good. They were like a 1 year where they were just like, I was just thinking back to the music of that year. It would have been like the Killers and Hard-Fi.
Oh, I've heard of the Killers.
Right, yeah. So it would have been that kind of Franz Ferdinand. But I listen to a lot of house music and stuff now. So yeah, my tastes have definitely changed in a very big way.
Yeah, well, that's probably a good thing.
All the stuff that's basically all the stuff that's on my guilty pleasures playlist. Is that.
Okay, cool. All right, so that was 18. What were you doing at 30? Oh no, what will you be doing, I should say, at 35?
35. What will the year be when I'm 35?
I don't know, because I don't know how old you are. I just know that you're under 35.
So I'm 29. I'm 30
you're
in
29.
a month's time. A month tomorrow, I'm 30. So
okay.
I'll be more well-traveled than I am now. But luckily with the business I've got, I can kind of scatter about a bit. I'll have a few fingers in different pies, I reckon. There's like this coaching business that I've set up over the last year is doing some quite exciting things, and I think it's going to lead to me working quite heavily in the startup world with some really interesting people. So kind of watch out from this space from kind of like December onwards. But I think that's where things are going to be. I'm really sort of interested in a lot of the stuff I do is about how to try and make things interesting. And deliver value all the time. So you coming to me saying that you want to talk about me, I'm telling all of my lot not to talk about themselves. So it's this isn't what I'm used to. I normally just deliver some sort of like coaching tips or something. I never talk about myself. So it's different. It's a nice change. Yeah,
this is exactly what the show's about. Because in my experience, people don't want to know what you know until they know if they like you.
Got you.
So anyway, okay, brilliant. Okay, so 35. So we're going to watch that space. All right, I've got some quick fire questions for you now. Are you ready?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, so TV or radio? Which do you like?
I watch more TV, but I actually prefer, as a concept, I prefer radio.
Okay. Fiction or non-fiction?
Non-fiction, but I wish I could be better at reading fiction.
Are you the oldest, middle, or youngest child?
Oldest.
Oldest child, okay. So at school, were you the class clown, the goody two-shoes, a bit of a handful, or were you under the radar?
Probably class clown.
Okay, that's interesting. And what's your best habit?
Best habit? Ooh. My girlfriend might be watching. Let's think. I put the loo seat down.
I approve.
I don't know whether my girlfriend will agree with that, but I do.
Okay. Well, let's hope your girlfriend's not watching, because I want to know what your worst habit is.
I get really restless. I can't lie in.
Oh, okay. You're an up and at it boy.
I'm up and at it.
Okay.
Yeah. I know. I wish I could switch off, but I find it quite hard at the moment. I'm trying.
Okay. In that case, my next question relates to that. So what do you do to relax?
Watch the sunset, and that's not even a joke. I am obsessed with sunsets. Anytime I go on holiday, unless I can see the sun, unless I'm in a situation where I can see the sunset, then I will probably not choose that particular location. I've just come back from Monaco. Like, it was like a holiday sandwich. I had work in France, either side of this like 4-day break. And I based the place that we stayed at on whether or not we'd be able to watch the sun go down. How bad is that? But I love it. I like
really cool.
Sunset, house music. That is me. That is me in my element.
What's really interesting is that Alex and I have discovered that we both, well, Alex is from Northampton and I now live in Northamptonshire. We're both from Northamptonshire, little villages. And I live actually on the highest point of Northamptonshire, bizarrely, which is fine, except it's a bit like the house in Dallas. Do you remember Dallas? You're probably a bit young for Dallas. South Fork always had this amazing wind blowing. And we always have lots of wind because we're very high.
I can imagine there's lots of wind. Yeah,
lots of wind. But what is lovely about it too is that we're right in the middle of nowhere and we have the most amazing sunsets.
Awesome. That's the dream.
Yeah, and I'm facing south, so it comes through the bathroom window in the morning, and then it goes around and ends up on the other side of us, and we're facing due south. So I'm with you with the sunsets, definitely.
Awesome.
And we're very dark where we are. People who come to see us, they're spooked because there's no street lights anywhere at all, and they get kind of a bit, oh, it's really dark here.
Yeah,
it's weird, isn't it? It's just what you're used to, I suppose. Okay, sunsets, love it. Right, so do you have any nicknames?
I get called Mary and Mez. Probably just those two,
Mary
I
and
think. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. A lot of people used to call me Mary. Or actually, my uni lot call me Classics because they thought it was bizarre that I'd gone to study Latin at uni. So I still get that when I catch up with my uni lot.
That's cool. All right. And I don't know whether we discussed this. We may not have done. But my first kind of real passionate, I have a degree in music and I'm a singer. So, in fact, I was at my friend's wedding yesterday and I did a little song for her in the reception in the afternoon, or in the evening, nice. I should say, which is nice. So if you were with me and I got you up on stage, what would be your karaoke song?
Oh, God help the audience if that happens. Do you know Bongo Bong by Manu Chao?
No, but I'm going to look it up now.
I feel like it's vocally in range. I had to do a lip sync battle last year and I chose Common People by The Verve.
Oh, right, very well.
And I feel like maybe when I practiced my lip sync, I sort of did just sing it anyway. So maybe that one as well. I'd probably go down something like that. I'd be very conscious of my my limited vocal range, I think.
I'll sing with you. It'll be fine. Okay, so next question then. I'm asking this to everybody and I want to give you the background story for this. So 2 years ago, I went to America for a month with my husband, who I've been together with for 35 years or something this year, which is a long time.
Congrats.
We spent a whole month and we did 8 states and 3,300 miles and we were apart for about 6 hours the whole time.
Wow.
When he took a Harley. Yeah. He took a Harley Davidson off and I tranced around Las Vegas, which was really weird. And the whole time it's fantastic because we had the most amazing time. So I'd like to know if I was to organise a holiday for you, we had it organised for us. Somebody organised the flights and the hotel, so we had no stress at all. We had nothing to argue about. There wasn't any issue at all in the first place. It was all just really easy to do. We just pitched up, showed up. We knew where we were going to do. If I did that for you, who would you spend a whole month with without a crossword? Because we didn't have a crossword that whole time. So who would you spend a month with without a crossword?
So one of my buddies, I've done a lot of traveling with. We've been, God knows how many countries we've been to together. He's based out in Dubai, but we went to our most recent holiday was in Rio. We were there for the Olympics, which is pretty cool. I'd probably take Christian because it would be rude not to. He'd be jealous if I didn't.
Okay, you've got to tag him into this then.
Yeah, I will do.
Yeah, Christian. Okay, brilliant. Okay. So the other thing that we're going to do with this Light-Hearted Conversation series is a bit like Desert Island Discs. I'm asking everybody to choose one piece of music that we're going to create a list, a song list or a playlist. Okay. And everybody gets one song. It's not your karaoke song. This song is the one that you would choose to make you feel light-hearted.
To make you feel light-hearted?
So if you're feeling a bit, what would you put on to make you feel,
Waterloo by ABBA.
Waterloo, couldn't escape if I wanted to.
That's the one.
Yeah, I think that's the second or the third ABBA song we've had.
Oh, that's bad, isn't it? So I listen to ABBA if I'm like up. If I've got to deliver a talk, so I'm running an event in London tomorrow. If I have to deliver a talk and I'm a little bit stressed out beforehand and I know I'm going to just take everything way too seriously, I go for a run, put ABBA on, and then it tends to like level me out a little bit.
Fantastic. Okay, you can have Waterloo on our playlist. All right, so nowadays you know that my real passion is around helping people to achieve health and vitality. To really sort of fulfill, I work with really busy people to help them to fulfill the promises that they've made to their clients and their families and to their spouses and to their work colleagues and all the rest of it by really spending time looking after themselves and by making it really easy for them to put aside some resources and some time and understand how best to get that energy and vitality that you need in order to be successful. And to be attractive to other people, by the way, obviously. So I've written a book called The Heart of a Woman, How to Look After the Heart You Give to the World. So my question to you is, how do you look after your heart from 2 viewpoints. So one is, how do you look after your physical heart? So what do you do in terms of exercise and food and all those kind of things? And I'd also like to know how you look after your kind of spiritual, emotional heart as well. So how do you protect that? What do you do for those two instances?
All right, good questions. All right, so I keep pretty fit, or I try to. It's a mixture of high intensity interval training and weights and some cardio stuff. So I tend to keep a fairly good exercise regime, play a lot of tennis as well. I'm probably exercising like 15 hours a week at the moment.
Wow,
so that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I think food-wise...
I hope you're taking lots of antioxidants because you're doing that.
I know, right? It's important.
Mm-hmm.
Food-wise, I think... food-wise, it's an interesting one. I've just come back from France and I ate way too many baguettes, and I'm going away for a few days towards the end of the month. So I think actually I'm sort of being much more conscious over what I was eating, whereas I'd let myself go a little bit, if I'm being totally honest. So it's protein, lots of veg, lots of fiber, and some vitamin pills. That's my diet at the moment, and then my protein, which is just a
Yay. So the most important thing for you to do if you exercise is that you're, as you probably know, is that we're all producing free radicals just as we breathe. And the real kind of irony of being fit and exercising a lot is that you produce massive amounts of free radical damage, which is aging, and is the thing that kind of creates this domino effect that, if we don't look after, ends up into cells becoming damaged and ultimately into cancer. Not to frighten you, but that's effectively what the process is. So if you were to ask me, what do I need to do, Gill, then I would be giving you real good advice to take a really good quality high antioxidant. I'll send you a link about it, but a really good quality high antioxidant, so that you can mop up the free radical damage, because we want you to be fit, but we also want you to be healthy, because being fit, as you know, is not the same as being healthy. We know lots of people are fit, but they're not necessarily healthy.
Totally. No, thanks for your advice. Appreciate that.
Okay. So that's your physical heart. So what about the emotional one?
I'm doing yoga at the moment.
Oh, yeah, you are. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in a hot room at 6:30 this morning. I think I sort of struggle. I go on and off with the whole like mindfulness thing. I find it quite hard. It's not sort of... it's not something I've ever really paid that much attention to, but I do know it's important. So I'm doing a lot of yoga at the moment. I'm also doing like a gratitude diary, which my mentor told me that I should do. Yeah. So
that's a good idea.
Yeah. I think
what do you do when you run? When you run and you exercise, are you listening to music? What are you doing?
Yeah, I listen to music. I struggle to exercise without music.
Well, I think in some senses that's a kind of meditation in itself, isn't it? It's just being able to switch off. And I know that, that 15-minute run that people do, that's their mindfulness time.
Totally.
It doesn't have to be lying down, on a mat or sitting up in a chair with your eyes closed.
Yeah, it's definitely like a state of mind. And I think in the past I've just used the gym to kind of get my headspace sorted. If I didn't go to the gym, I'd just be a really bad person to be around. So, but funny enough, I'm working with somebody at the moment, Roger Frampton, who's a movement coach, and actually a lot of the stuff that we do in the gym, and I got to say, I agree with him, unfortunately. A lot of the stuff we do in the gym and a lot of the way the fitness industry has changed and is run, harm than good. You only have to look at people who, the number of people who were kind of immobile, the older that, when they reach their older generations, to show that, we've got to have a serious sort of look as to how we take what we think the definition of looking after our bodies is.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that's what I'm really passionate about. And looking at the different stages, well, as what you do in your 20s is different to what you would do or what you need in your 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s. And not thinking, I see a lot of women, who are my age, who suddenly start running, because they want to lose weight, or they're going to the gym and doing massive, those cycling things, whatever they're called.
Sure.
I can't remember what it's called. Or taking it. Yeah, a few things that are really kind of cardio, thinking that cardio is the answer, and actually that's the last thing that at that stage that particular woman needs to do in order to stay healthy. So it's all about education. You know, we have this amazing thing called Google, and it's very confusing, isn't it, about what is real and what's not real and what counts for me. And you know, somebody said to me yesterday, should I be eating raw food, Jill? You know, is that what I should be doing?
Yeah, totally. Anytime I have something wrong with me and I look on Google, I you know, my life expectancy ends up being like 3 days.
I call it being your own GP, your own Google practitioner. And don't get me wrong, you know, I've done it myself, and you know, all guilty of that. So it's really nice to be able to kind of cut all that out and say, okay, this is what we know. You know, let's just make this easy, because you can disappear down a big hole very easily with all this stuff. Okay, brilliant. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for being so honest and giving us a little bit of an insight into
not at all
Speaker Coach. So my next question is really around what's coming up for you next in the next month. You've mentioned a little bit, but can you share with us a little bit about what's coming up in the next month, maybe up to Christmas and beyond? What are you excited about?
Sure. I'm doing so I don't do many coaching programs. But I have got one coming up at the beginning of August. It's a 3-month public speaking accelerator, essentially helping people land right and deliver one talk, and then showing them how to take that one talk and take it global and use it on a global perspective, so it can get seen by thousands of people. Predominantly, I work with entrepreneurs, small business owners who are running growing startups. So they are my main focus. And then I do some one-to-one stuff as well, but really the core stuff that I do is with entrepreneurs in bulk, and we create this awesome community for 3 months, and start to use speaking to provide a platform for them, but in a way that affects bigger change. So you know, speaking's it's almost not about the person, it's all about the idea that they've got and where they're looking to take it, and how they can kind of create a movement from it. So that's what I'm
not speaking just for the sake of it. In other words,
basically, it's got to be a purpose. There's got to be a purpose, and it's looking at how you can sort of differentiate yourself in that space. So that's the course that's coming up 1st of August. That kicks off. So that's pretty cool. And then towards the end of the year, it'll be looking at. I'm going to be looking at I'm spending a bit of time researching a lot of the startup world at the moment, and looking at which interesting businesses are looking for co-founders, and I'll make some decisions on which businesses I'll kind of shortlist and look at coming to join towards the end of the year. So that's kind of what's coming up in the pipeline. So exciting times.
And on a personal level, anything that you're excited about there?
You know what? The last sort of 18 months has been very business. I've got my best mate's stag do wedding. The stag do's already happened in 2 weeks' time. That's going to be epic. Really looking forward to that. But I've not really sort of looked from a social perspective. Not really looked beyond the wedding. Speaker coach having to do a best man speech. There's loads of pressure on that, so just making sure that's all good.
Well, maybe you should take a little bit of time to think about the social things that you need to do as well, Alex. Just hashtag. Just
Agreed.
saying.
Yeah, totally. I
can
totally agree.
And where can we find out more about you?
So from the speaker coaching side, I have a private group. It's really small, and everything that I do on there, I interact with everybody personally on there. It's called Mic Drop Moments, speaking tips for talks that matter. And I believe you have the link that you can.
It should be up actually. I don't know whether it's appeared. I've just activated it, so it should be there. It doesn't appear. It's not gone on my screen. So if it doesn't, what I'll do is I will post it. I'll post it when on the top of the video when it goes out and when I share it. I don't know why that's not going out. Normally it would do that. Okay. Maybe it's because it's not a website. It's a Facebook group, isn't it, that you've linked us to? So just tell me let's see if we can put your website there. Actually, let's do that and see if it likes that. So that's www.
Yeah, you can join. I mean, you can join it from my website. So
you can join it from there anyway. It's alex.merry, isn't it?
It's alex-merry.
Oh, dash. Here we go. Let's see if we can get this up. It'd be great to have a link. .com?
.com, yeah.
No, not doing it today.
I mean, all this tech is hard to keep up with it all. Right?
Yeah, I'll post it. It'll be fine. Don't know why it's doing it today. Okay, so a Facebook group, and we've got the and the website. So what I really suggest people to do is, if you've got any interest at all in all the great stuff that Alex does, and you just need to go in and have a bit more of a look around, actually, is you contact him through there. Thank you very much. I've really enjoyed our light-hearted conversation.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, good. Okay, so I hope you have a great day, Alex, the rest of the day coming up, and I hope everybody else that's watching has a fantastic day as well. And I'll see you real soon. No doubt I'll see you in London at some point.
I'm sure. Thanks a lot, Jill.
You need to, we met at the Radio Works World event, so hopefully you're going to come along to one of the other the next.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, you must show up. Okay, so thanks everybody, and we'll see you real soon.
See you later.